Welcome back, everyone. This is my second episode, and I really want to share this topic because I feel it's very important. Something that we're all learning, especially as a lot is changing at the moment. We talked in the first episode about why life is changing rapidly, and the second episode is more about our words that we share with others or even with ourselves. We might not always be aware of how powerful they are. Of course, the words that you share have energy. And one thing definitely that is a big life lesson that even I'm still learning, and probably everybody out there is learning, is that the energy we put in words definitely do affect you and can also affect the other person on the other end. Of course, we always want to communicate loving. Of course, we want to put positive energy out there, but sometimes it's not always possible to stay positive or to stay balanced. So what do we actually need to do when we're feeling unbalanced, when we're feeling hurt, when we feel wounded, whatever we're going through? If it's an experience and we're unloving towards ourselves, we share unloving things to ourselves, tell ourselves unloving things, or if it's someone else that is being very unloving and out of balance towards us. Well, one thing I definitely am still learning, as I'm still growing and I'm becoming more older, mature and wiser, is when you go through a difficult situation and a difficult experience, if it's with someone, communicating, sharing what you feel through those words that you share. The best is not to do it when you're feeling insecure, uncomfortable, unloved, and misunderstood. Because these are the moments that our emotions really go on overdrive. And that's the moment that we can't really dig into any clarity when it comes to our feelings, and we can't dig into any clarity when it comes to the thoughts that are running through our mind. We just feel very uncomfortable with ourselves and with the situation. And one thing that I'm really noticing, especially that's happening during this energy period, is that a lot of people are sharing a lot of their words without any feelings, true intent, positive intent for the other party, but are just sharing more of their own pains, their own past traumas, what have they been through. There's a lot of projecting going on, and I will, of course, have a topic about projection. What does that mean? Why do people do that? But I really want to share with others is to be very aware of what you say to yourself and to someone else if you're in a dark place. Because you can, of course, block your flow, your blessings. You can delay blessings that are supposed to come your way. You can make life difficult for yourself, and then you can question yourself as like, why is everybody distancing themselves from me? Why is everybody leaving me alone or behind? What is this all happening? And we all go through stages in life. That I definitely must share with you. I'm also not perfect. I've also had moments in my life where I wasn't treated well or loving. by others, and it did affect me. And as I have become older and wiser, I have had to make decisions or had to make boundaries when it comes to other people that keep on hurting me, sharing their pain through their words with me, not being aware of the effect that it has, and eventually having to distance from those kind of unbalanced people. We live in a very turbulent world. Life is not as we know, and life can be very challenging for all of us. We all go through our lessons, and I don't want to say that I know better, or with the knowledge that I have, the inner wisdom, the spiritual gifts that the divine has given me, I know better what to do. Definitely not. I feel we're all here to learn from each other, to help each other grow, to build each other up and support each other. But one thing that I've definitely noticed in the period that we're going through, the energy period that we're going through, it is a very difficult time, and it's a very unbalanced time, that people are feeling very overwhelmed, that many of us need to find balance in communicating. What do we really want to share with the other party? What do we really want to say? What do we really want to get off our chest? Many of us find ourselves in situations where we have just been through so much that we're kind of like scared to open our heart and to share what we really feel through the words that we know. And one thing I can definitely share with everyone is that love heals. If you're sharing loving compliments, words, supportive, energy in your communication, it goes really a very, very long way. But for many of us, what does happen is, if someone has hurt us in the past and that person is unbalanced and doesn't really know how to communicate in a loving way, it is difficult for the other person who is much more stable, the other party, to actually give the person a chance, because you keep on getting this like low energy, this negative energy from this person. And I know out of my own experience, as I'm an energy reader and energy healer, when people communicate with me, I can sense if a person is in pain, in confusion, not sure what to do, not sure what to say. And it does trigger. It does get difficult at times. Really, it does. But when I feel that it's not the right moment, I do teach myself to be silent. Taking a step back also is showing the other person, like, you know what? We're just not on the same page right now. This is not the moment to talk this out. This is not the moment that you might feel you're ready to discuss the things that have been spoken and that have been shared. But one thing that we can definitely learn when it comes to communication is to try and be understanding of the other person and in what situation they're in. Really knowing if you have an argument with someone and you've said some painful and hurtful words, that the person will find it very hard to open the door straight away for you. And to be trusting that, this time around, you won't repeat the same hurtful cycle again. You won't hurt them. That the next time when there's a moment, when there's a lot of conflict between the two of you, that they won't receive the same reaction. And one thing that definitely isn't easy, and I feel a lot of you can agree with me out there, is it makes it even more difficult when the communication goes between a woman and a man. Because women express a lot of their emotions through the communication, through words. And a lot of men, they will express their logic, through the communication. And I'm not saying there's not men that aren't emotionally immature, because there are. There is a group out there that are emotionally mature, that know how to communicate with women, to bring the balance, to consider both parties of who they are, what the female brings to the table and what him as a male can bring to the table when it comes to communication. But I honestly feel that that's something that needs to always be in consideration. Women and men communicate differently. And of course, as a woman, we would definitely love, and I'm talking out of my own experience, we would definitely love to have a balanced, stable conversation with a man that can really understand where we're coming from on an emotionally level. But we just have to also understand that women are wired differently than men. So many times, as a woman, we also have to consider, from what place is a man speaking towards you, and how is he speaking. And very soon you can also notice in the contact between the other person, if they're really present to talk out, if you've had an argument, if they're really open to really have that talk with you, you can notice it very, very soon in the conversation. You can see if they're understanding, if they're compassionate towards you. If they're very short in communication, I would definitely give the advice that that's not the time to talk things out, because the other party does feel triggered, okay? And I'm not saying the triggers could because of that conversation. It could also be of other situations that they're going through, but you can actually notice very soon, if you haven't spoken to someone for a very long time, how they come back, how they approach you in contact, very soon, if they're also able to talk things out with you or not, or if it just needs a bit more space and time. So what I can just definitely share with you out there, when it comes to communication, please try and be aware of the energy that you put into the words. Also understand if the other party hasn't been very understanding or compassionate to what you're sharing. First, look at from the place that they're coming from, because currently we have a lot of people on this planet that are very wounded, are very insecure, that act first or talk first out of fear instead of the emotions that they carry and what they really feel and what they really want to share with you. So please be aware of that. No one is perfect. I'm also not perfect. We can all make mistakes. We're human beings. We're here to learn all these lessons. But be more aware of what you say to the other person or what you share. Even if you're having a conversation with a friend of yours, be very aware. It is better rather not to say anything negative about someone that hurts you, but it's more like pray for them, ask the divine to support them, because they're going through a very difficult period and they're not stable or grounded enough to have emotionally mature conversation. Because let's be honest, you guys, us as human beings, there's so much to learn about us, but it's not always easy. It's not always easy to go in a conversation with someone and to understand and learn if the other person really understands your message or understands what you're saying. So much happens in between, and we are also very used of taking out past experiences, living more in the past than being very much in the present with the person that we have opposite us. So I really would love for those of you out there to share what you feel about the second episode, talking about that the words we share in a conversation are much more powerful than we think, and how much more aware we can try to be and to learn from the situation. So just want to say thank you, you guys, for all the support and love. I've got so many reviews from the first episode. If there's any other topics that you guys would like me to dig into, just share and I'll definitely dig into that. I've also got a few people lined up that I'm also interviewing that I find very inspirational, and I'd love to share what these people have to share, wisdom, what gifts, just everything about life. So I will definitely update you with those, with you guys, once I get all that set, because I'm planning all the interviews that I'm doing. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and definitely see you guys